Welcome in. Today, we're diving deep into a match that really showed us, like the highs and lows of T20 cricket.
Yeah.
England women versus Bangladesh women
At Sharjah.
at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium. And as deep dive listeners,
Mm-hmm.
you guys know we don't mess around. We're not just here for the scorecard.
No,
We are breaking down like the tactical chess match
absolutely.
that unfolded on that pitch.
And what a stage for it. The ICC Women's T20 World Cup already, some serious heat coming out of this tournament. And this match, even though it ended with a decisive England victory, had implications for both these teams going forward.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just about the 21 runs separating them at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
It was how those runs came, the strategic decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how the unique challenges of that Sharjah pitch came into play.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the captain's post-match comments really highlight how crucial those conditions were.
They do, don't they? You had Heather Knight from England praising her team for, really leaning into that spin-heavy attack, something that they had clearly planned for based on this pitch's reputation. Sharjah is, well, it's notorious for this slow, low bounce, which can make life so difficult for batters trying to hit through the line.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, you've got Bangladesh captain Nigar Sultana,
Yeah.
and she pointed to their struggles in building partnerships as a major factor in their loss.
Right.
And this was evident, I think, throughout their innings, wickets falling at like just the worst times, disrupting any momentum they were trying to build.
It's a classic T20 dilemma, isn't it? That need to score quickly versus the importance of consolidating the innings. And this is where a strong partnership, like the one England had with White Hodge and Beaumont, can really make all the difference.
Now, speaking of Danielle Wyatt Hodge,
Yeah.
let's talk about that player of the match performance.
Yeah.
I mean, she handled the Sharjah pitch like it was her second home.
She did, didn't she? And it wasn't just about, those were impressive 56 runs off 45 balls. It was how she paced her innings, rotating the strike, picking her moments to attack, and really just showcasing her experience in cricket IQ.
Yeah, her post-match interview I thought was fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
She talked about the importance of intent. On a pitch like this, it wasn't about just brute force, It was about picking your shots carefully and exploiting those gaps in the field.
Exactly. It was like she was playing chess out there while some of the other batters were stuck playing checkers.
Okay, before we get too lost in praising Wyatt Hodge, which is easy to do,
Right.
let's talk about a tactical decision from England that I found incredibly intriguing. And that was the inclusion of Lindsay Smith in the squad.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Lindsay Smith. Her return to the T20 World Cup stage after a 6-year hiatus is a story in itself, but let's talk about why she was brought in for this particular match.
Okay.
England knew what they were doing, especially given those Sharjah conditions that we keep alluding to.
All right, so enlighten us. What made her the secret weapon, so to speak?
Well, you see, Smith is known for her left-arm orthodox spin, but it's not just about the spin, it's about her height and the unique trajectory that she gets on the ball. On a pitch like Sharjah, where the ball tends to grip and stay low, a bowler like Smith becomes incredibly difficult to play against.
Wow.
It's a nightmare for batters who like to sweep or play on the front foot.
Fascinating. So they brought her in specifically to exploit those conditions.
Absolutely.
And disrupt Bangladesh's batting rhythm. And oh, did it work? She took 2 crucial wickets, ended up with an economy rate of just 4.25.
Amazing.
England clearly did their homework, and it paid off.
That's the beauty of sports at this level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Strategic thinking, the calculated risks, and the way individual brilliance can turn a match on its head.
So they say knowing the battlefield is half the battle in England.
Yeah.
They clearly came prepared for this Sharjah showdown.
Yeah.
But even with their strategic masterstrokes, we can't forget that Bangladesh's bowling attack really gave England a run for their money early on.
Absolutely. Let's not lose sight of the fact that England, despite all that batting prowess, they were restricted to a relatively modest total.
Right.
And that speaks volumes about the discipline and the skill of Bangladesh's bowlers, especially early on. They managed to create pressure, force England into a few rash shots.
Yeah, it's true. For a while there, I thought we were in for like a low-scoring thriller.
Yeah, me too.
But as you mentioned earlier, England's batting experience,
Right.
especially that match-winning partnership, really, I think, ultimately made the difference.
It did.
And then on the other hand, you've got Bangladesh struggling to form those partnerships.
Yeah.
And that really hampered their run chase.
And this is where we see how that Sharjah pitch can really level the playing field in a way, right?
Right.
It doesn't discriminate based on, reputation or past performance. Both teams had to adapt their batting strategies. England simply did it better on the day.
Yeah, it wasn't just about power hitting. It was about finesse, placement, reading that pace of the pitch. And we saw glimpses of that from Bangladesh, I thought, especially during Mostri and Jodi's partnership.
Yeah.
For a while there, it seemed like they might just pull off a remarkable comeback.
Momentum was definitely shifting. Mostri in particular played with such grit and determination. Her 44 runs were crucial.
Yeah.
And that six she hit off Ecclestone, oh my goodness, what a shot. It just goes to show that even on a tricky pitch, a batter in the zone can find ways to score.
Yeah, and as a deep dive listener, you appreciate, I think, the tactical importance of that partnership.
Absolutely.
It's about weathering the storm, building confidence, putting the pressure back on the fielding side. Sadly for Bangladesh, it wasn't meant to be. Jodi's run out, man, that felt like a real turning point.
It was a heartbreaker, wasn't it? Especially the way it happened, like a slight miscommunication, a moment of hesitation, and suddenly momentum swings back in England's favor.
Yeah.
Those are the fine margins that often decide T20 matches, especially in a pressure cooker like the World Cup.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty and the cruelty of T20 cricket, right? 1 minute you're building towards something really special, and then the next, it's gone. Just like that. Slipping through your fingers. But hey, I guess that's why we watch, right?
Absolutely.
For those moments of brilliance, those twists of fate. That's just sheer unpredictability of it all.
Keeps us on the edge of our seats. And speaking of unpredictability, I think we've got to talk about England's next challenge. They're facing South Africa.
Yeah.
And guess what? Back to Sharjah Cricket Stadium they go.
Oh, boy.
Round 2.
Talk about a trial by spin.
I know, right?
England, they might have kind of navigated those tricky conditions in this match, but can they do it again?
Right.
Against the South African team that is known for its resilience.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? South Africa, pretty convincing win in their opening match. They're going to be full of confidence. But as we saw today, the Sharjah pitch can humble even the most talented teams.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, cricket is a great leveler. And this pitch, I feel like it takes that to a whole other level.
It does.
So as a deep dive listener, I know you're probably wondering, will England stick with that spin-heavy strategy? Or will they maybe adapt their game plan a little bit based on South Africa's strengths?
It's a fascinating tactical dilemma. On the one hand, they've got Lindsay Smith firing on all cylinders. Sharjah pitch seems tailor-made for her bowling style.
Yeah.
But, South Africa will be well aware of that threat, and they're going to be ready for it.
Exactly. They might try to attack early, put the pressure back on England's spinners, disrupt any kind of rhythm. Or maybe they play a more patient game. Right. Wait for those loose deliveries and then pick their moments to score.
Right.
It's fascinating.
These are the kinds of tactical battles that make tournament cricket so captivating. It's not just about individual skill at that point. It's about how teams adapt, how they evolve, and outsmart their opponents.
Yeah, it's like a chess match.
Exactly.
Played out on the cricket field, and I, for one, cannot wait to see how this next move plays out. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something I think maybe for everyone to ponder. How much of an impact will sort of that psychological game play in this upcoming match? Will England carry the confidence of this win over Bangladesh? Or will they be maybe a little bit haunted by the ghosts of Sharjah past?
Now, that's a thought-provoking question to end on.
Right.
I think we can all agree this Women's T20 World Cup is shaping up to be one for the ages.
Absolutely. So until next time, keep those thinking caps on, and we'll see you back here for another deep dive.